We need to challenge the hundreds of callous, cynical laws introduced in the states targeting transgender children, terrifying families, and criminalizing doctors who give children the care they need. We have to protect these children so they know they are loved, and we will stand up for them and say they can seek for themselves.
What? Okay, so he's talking about the genital mutilation of children. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the laws that are saying, hey, a child, the child whose brain is not developed and who might just be going through a hard time or might be dealing from trauma or might be on the autism spectrum or might just be confused about things. Like, we shouldn't be able to put them on puberty blockers and use the same drug that is used very often to chemically castrate serial pedophiles. Like, maybe we shouldn't be cutting off the healthy breasts of 12-year-old girls as they are in Kaiser Permanente in Oakland, California, just because she says that she doesn't like her body. Yeah, I absolutely think that should be illegal. That is like the bare minimum. Are you kidding me? And there's no solid data proving at all whatsoever that these kinds of procedures are actually helping these kids who identify as transgender, who are dealing with depression and anxiety and suicidal ideation. If anything, I guarantee these things are making it worse. Listen to the stories of the detransitioners, how they were just pushed through, the psychologists and the surgeons and all of the doctors, that no one cared. In a lot of these cases, no one stopped to ask these kids, these 17, 18-year-olds, are you sure? Are you sure? Like, let's talk about some of the underlying mental health issues. Let's talk about some of your sexual trauma that you've gone through, especially when it is with girls. With girls, what I found, it's typically underlying trauma and sexual abuse that they have endured, and they are trying to make themselves seem less vulnerable by so-called transitioning. A lot of times with boys, it might be sexual trauma, but it has a lot to do with addiction to pornography and loneliness and isolation and different forms of confusion there. And yet, rather than addressing these issues, people are making money off of the confusion and the distress and the despair of kids by permanently damaging their bodies and causing them to be permanently sexually dysfunctional and sterile. It is criminal what we are doing to children. And Joe Biden, the empath in chief, the moderate, the great uniter that the pro-life evangelicals for Biden said that they were voting for the sake of democracy and the sake of maturity and the sake of normalcy. He's on board with that. Like, how does it feel? How does it feel? All these so-called principled conservatives that think that they are finding like the perfect balance of pluralism and religious liberty, who are constantly only ever asking Christians to compromise morally, who are constantly trying to give people like Joe Biden and Democrats the benefit of the doubt, who are always trying to soften their stances, always trying to soften the Democrat stances when it comes to gender and when it comes to sexual perversion, when it comes to abortion. Like, how does it feel to be constantly duped? How does it feel to be constantly on the wrong side of these issues? To constantly tell conservative evangelicals that you're blowing things out of proportion, that that's a slippery slope fallacy, that it's never going to go that far, it's never going to go that direction, that the sexual revolution is not going to go that way, that, oh, it's just, you're just talking about fringe culture war issues. Those culture war issues don't really matter. Let's send more money to Ukraine. How does it feel to be wrong literally constantly? If Christians were simply on the same page about these moral and sexual issues, we wouldn't be where we are. Just Christians. I'm not even talking about the rest of the world. If just Christians could be clear on these issues, that mutilating a child's body just because they're temporarily confused about something is evil and wrong and should be illegal, we would not be where we are. But because literally millions of professing Christians have said, oh, it's probably not that bad, it's not going to happen here, or maybe it's not real, but Trump's tweets were really bad. Here we are.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from BlazeTV, with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here.